Hello, I'm just going to fly through this little review really quick because I know on YouTube people don't like sit and watching videos for hours and hours. I just found these at local Michael's. These have probably been around for a while, but I haven't really experimented with a lot of them. I have the pocket brush pen, but not these. So we have Pentel Arts color brush with a black ink water-based, and then you have a color brush with a black pigment ink. So I wanted to see what the difference was on those. I also have the sign pen. I wanted to see what that is like for sketching. And then I got one of these duo points with a black ink water-based ink. So the first thing I wanted to try out was the now basically with the pocket brush pen, it seems like it's going to do the same thing that these guys do. I think the advantage here will be that it's a longer handle. So this is the water-based one that I wanted to try out. So first you take off the red ring, and then you just screw it back in to puncture the ink chamber. At least in theory. Oh, screwing it the wrong way. Lefty loosey, righty tighty, didn't work there. So let's see. Give it a little squeeze. It should start filling up the reservoir in there. I hear something gurgling. And there it goes, it's filling up. Can you see that in there? It is beginning to fill in. Not really. What just happened? I saw it go in there. Oh, there it goes. Whoa, shoot. That's annoying. Yeah, I already don't like that. It's just dripping out. It's not supposed to do that. Ay, ay, ay. Turn clear plastic barrel clockwise in direction of red arrow. That's what I did, and what is it? It's like it's full of air. What is this? Alright, I already don't like this thing. Wow, that goes way too heavy. Eesh, why did I buy this? This is not handled like a pocket brush pen. Yeah, well, it's like just too heavy, and it's a mess. Like the ink is coming out of the entire thing here. And it's not even really filling up in the reservoir. When you squeeze it, it comes out everywhere. It's a nice black though. Very solid black. Now, alright. I wanted to see if that was water-based, but this isn't doing what I thought it would do. Now if I get a water brush, this is just water, cup of water on my brush. I want to see what it does. See, that's what I was looking for. If it's water-based and you can do washes with it, which apparently you can. Hence a water-based ink, which, not gonna lie, I do like that. Yeah, look at that, it's nice. It kind of even just comes back for you. So that's kind of nice. So overall, I would say that one is nice for ink wash. not so nice in the fact that it's like so freaking messy. This is already 5 minutes long, Jesus. I mean, Jesus. I mean, whoops. Now, I'm assuming the other one does the same thing, same style, but it has a pigment ink, which is a permanent ink. So it should be doing the exact same thing, just not being able to water down the ink with water. So basically, you're gonna have permanent ink, and then you're gonna have a water-based ink to be able to do ink wash. I like the ink wash. I'm not a fan of the delivery system on this thing, the way it comes out. Now, a sign pen is also water-based ink, smooth flowing. These are actually cheap. I just wanted to see how it actually works. It's got a little brush tip. It says a brush nib. I don't know if I can zoom in so you can see what's happening here. If I can zoom in on my finger. Yeah, the brush tip isn't really, I guess because it's a fine point. It doesn't even say fine point, just flexible tip. It's kind of nice. Yeah, it's got a nice feel. It's very intuitive. Maybe too thin of a line for me, but I guess you can press down and get a thicker line. Yeah, this is nice. Just for like quick sketching, I would probably use that a lot for sketches. Now, question, is it water soluble? So I'm going to take this water again. Whoops, I almost ruined this picture over here. Oh yeah, look at that. It is water soluble. That I do like. This pen I would use probably quite a bit. So I didn't get to finish that other video. I ran out of camera space. But anyway, I left off with the sign pen, which was this little guy over here with his eyeball. So I really like the sign pen. I actually went back to this also after a day and came back to it to see if this ink would still blend. And it actually does, which is pretty cool. I guess not cool if you want it to be permanent, but it's pretty cool if you want to be able to go back to it and do some kind of shading into it. So I really like that, that it's still pliable even after a couple days. Still blendable. Anyway, so the last pen I was going to look at is this Duo Point. Pentel Arts Duo Point. So if we just crack this open. Now this is also a water-based ink. So I'm kind of a fan of the water-based ink because, like I said, I like to do a lot of the ink wash. So that's just kind of my personal preference. I don't know where to draw with this. So that's that. It's got writing all over it. We have a brush. That's a very nice brush. It actually looks like the Pentel Pocket brush pen. And then on this side we have a foam. I guess that's a foam tip. Ooh, it's a very hard tip. So let me just see. Actually, let me get rid of this. Something strange. This ink is still wet, even after a day. That was out of the color brush pen. Not sure why. Not sure why. That was this ink. It's still wet. I don't know why it didn't dry. Kind of unusual that it would last quite that long. Anyway, I'll just use this. Huh. This is a very rigid tip. Almost too rigid. It has really no flexibility in it, as the sign pen. So this is really just for detail, which is good in the sense that it could kind of work like a Micron Pigma pen, because the tip keeps its, if I press harder, you get a little bit of a thicker line. If I press really thin, light, you get a thin line. So there's a little bit of variation in the line, but not as much as the sign pen. The sign pen acted more like a brush and in a form of a pen, but this acts really just like a thin pen. Almost like a ballpoint kind of feel to it. So that would be good for, you know, line, strictly line work. Anyway, interesting. Now, the thing I'm curious about is the brush end of this thing, because if it does what a Pentel pocket brush pen does, then this would be very interesting. Because one of my complaints about the Pentel pocket brush pen is that it's very hard to control, because the shaft of the pen is very short, whereas on this one you can see it's a much longer shaft. So it's helpful in being able to control fine details. Not really sure what it's, you know, the flow here is kind of weird. Doesn't seem to give me a very thick line. It's not a really heavy line. And the coverage is a little weak. See right there? I don't know if you can even see that. But it's kind of almost like a dry brush. Like that. You see how it leaves those like little edges, feathering? I don't particularly like that. Some people like that because they do kind of that sort of style. Or if you're doing a dry brush, I guess that could be fun. But I wouldn't particularly want my pen to do that, so that's kind of a downside for me. But I could have it just be nice and thick, depending. It seems if you move real slow, you can get the same sort of coverage as the Pentel pocket brush pen. Now see how that breaks like that? Not sure if it, just because I'm breaking it in, that it does that, but maybe after some time the flow starts to improve. But anyway, now I just wanted to see how this works in terms of the water factor. If I go in with this to blend, again, very nice blending for grayscale. So that's definitely an advantage for me, working with ink wash, being able to blend these out. But again, it just depends what you're doing and what you're using it for. Some people probably wouldn't be so into that. If it gets wet, then it blends, because some people would do watercolor over top of these, and obviously that wouldn't really be good, as you're mixing black into all your watercolors. But for me and just black and white work, this would be fabulous. But I would stick to the permanent ink of the Pentel pocket brush pen, or the this other color brush pen I have that I tried out. Or I didn't try it out, I have it. So that's really nice. I like this blendability factor. Obviously, where there's more ink, you're going to get a darker value. Plus this is probably still a little wet, so it's even more blendable. So anyway, that's that. Very nice. So just to recap, these pens, you have your duo point, which is nice. I wouldn't totally say this would replace the pocket brush pen, because again, the flow on it, it's more of a dry brush than a wet brush. Tip is nice, built in there. Again, it's very sturdy, keeps pretty much the same line weight, but it's nice. I like the handling of it. Sign pen, I already said. I do like the sign pen. I would recommend that. You can get different kinds of lines with that. It's a good pen, and it has the water-based ink for blending. This guy, your color brush, not a big fan of it. It's a little bit thick, comes out a little heavy, but it is nice for the again, for the wash. It's a little bit messy too, as you saw in the first portion of this. Maybe I just had too much ink in it. See, now it's flowing a little better without having to really overdo the squeezing the ink into the barrel. So maybe just needed to adjust. It's a nice pen. I kind of like that. And again, this comes in the comes with the permanent ink, and also in the water-based ink variety. Which this one here is the water-based variety of pen. So not too bad, not too bad. And the last one, which I did not open, is that same pen, but with the pigment ink. So that's a permanent ink. That's going to give you permanent results. So there you go. Those are your Pentel Arts brush pens that I just tried out. And make your own choices. Hope this video helps you, because when I was in the store at Michael's, I was looking at all these pens and I was like, I have no idea what these do. And there's still other pens that I don't know what they do either. Forget the names of them. Some sort of aqua wash pen, something. But anyway, hope this helps in your choices. And yeah, if you got any questions, you can ask down below, or make sure to share the video. Help spread the word. All right. Thanks for watching.